Hello, I've come on today to share the stamps that I've bought for the next hobby art class, which is on the 13th of April. It's the 4th of April today. So I'm filming the stamps that I've bought, obviously, and then after the 14th I will come back and share the projects that I've made, but obviously they'll all be in one video, so this will go up at some point after the 13th of April. The workshop this time is Oliver Owl, and it is this owl here, so it's obviously more sort of a lifelike owl than a cutesy owl, and it's also got some foliage and greenery on the stamp as well. And the optional stamps were a sentiment stamp, which I wasn't really interested in, wasn't the sort of thing I would use, and I've already got some hobby art sentiments which I probably will use with these particular makes. So I did get the other optional one though, which is Janie's Wildflowers, and it is what it says on the packet. It's wildflowers, greenery and foliage bits and pieces. And if you go for the whole bundle, you get the workshop, the Oliver Owl set, and your card pack. You can just buy the workshop on its own, but this is obviously a separate stamp. I usually go for the optionals, A, if I like them, and B, if I've got the funds. So I went for the whole complete workshop and the extra stamps there, and this is our card pack that comes with the bundle. So we've got 3 different sizes of cards. I have looked at them. They're all white with black mats. Sometimes you get craft cards or different coloured mats, but these ones are black and white. And then we've got this pack that came with it too, which has got loads of lovely goodies in. Try not to tear anything as I pull it out of the bag. We have some, oops, that one's coming off. Some butterfly stickers. Piece of twine or string, sorry I realised I'm off screen, and these die cut wildflowers. There's circle stencil there, and a circle die cut of some masket. We've got some tissue paper and some more watercolour card. We've got these beautiful wildflower and leaves die cuts, which are very delicate, and we have another piece of masket. We've got a tag, which is like the craft card. We've got Oliver stamped already. We have some more craft card bits. We've got these really delicate thin strips of card. Another tag, another bit of watercolour cardstock, and some more butterflies. So it'll be interesting because sometimes we don't just make cards, so there'll usually be at least 2 cards and then another project. Sometimes there are 3 cards, but we do 2 projects in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, and there's a break between the 2 in the morning and obviously a break for lunch. I will be back and I will share what I've made with these lovely products. These are the projects I made. So I've got 3 cards and 2 tags. The first one is using these sort of foliage stamps but without the owl. There's quite a bit of stenciling in the background and stamping to create that background piece. And obviously I've got one of the butterfly stickers here, which, as you can see, it's got its wings lifted up, so it's just literally stuck down in the middle. This stamp is not a hobby art one, it's actually a woodware stamp. I don't have any of the large word stamps that hobby art do, so yeah, I've just used one from my stash. And the next one is using Oliver Owl. So that's all hobby art stamps on there, including the sentiment, each moment of the year has its own beauty. It's coloured with the Kuretake real brush pens. And the background was done with Distress Oxides in the antique linen and vintage photo, and there's just matte layered onto a black piece of card, and as you'll see it sort of extends out of the square there. The next one again uses Oliver Owl, and it's quite an interesting technique on this one. It was new to me. So we did the background with the two colours, the green and the blue, and then did the sun. Then stamped some of the foliage on. Then we stamped some foliage onto the piece of tissue paper that came in the pack and stuck that down. Obviously you have to be careful what inks you use because the glue will obviously react with the water-based ink, so yeah, that will smear the ink, and then once that was dry we stamped again on top with some more stamps. At that point you can use whatever inks you want because it's not going to be wet again, it's obviously going to stay dry from that point. Extended the post that Oliver was on, and I'm not sure how well I'll be able to show you this, but it's actually embossed quite a bit. So we've embossed the owl, and then underneath here is silicone glue. So obviously if people push on it, it doesn't because it does set up really hard. So you know what it's like when people can see something like that. Oh, how did you do that? And then yeah, then it gets pushed on and that's it. So I put a bit of that under the post as well, obviously under his wing and his face. So I was quite pleased with that. And then I've got a couple of tags. So this was just using the white one. I've used Distress Oxides in the background, the foliage stamp, and this is from the background stamp by Hobby Art. So it's actually a sort of a painting smoosh, if you know what I mean. It's like a brush stroke, and I've just used the edge of it. Yeah, and that the word is from another one of their sets as well. And finally is this one with Oliver Owl on. Again, backgrounds with stamps and stencils, Distress Oxides. I've distressed the edge with one of the tools, the distressing tools, and obviously cut Oliver out and just chopped him off there to make him level with the edge. And this is just another word. I think that's from one of the Hobby Art sets as well. So I've sort of stamped fly over different places and then just made this one so it looks a little bit stronger than the others. So those are my projects. They're basically, I made them over the weekend, so obviously I did some of them or started some of them in the class and then I finished them over the next day or so. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with those. I would love to read your comments. Please leave me a thumbs up, and until next time, cheerio.